Hey guys, since my last video we have surpassed 300 subscribers, so I wanted to thank all the new people who've been coming into the channel and watching my videos. I really appreciate every single one of you. I've been trying to make some more Burning Abyss content because I know that's the reason a lot of you are here, and it's turned out that a couple of the ideas I've had are a bit more difficult to make than I thought they were. That being said, while those are still in the works, here is a Burning Abyss related video, which is going to be talking about the Soul Fusion Danger monsters as they relate to Burning Abyss. So the structure of these cards is more or less the same as they were in the first set. They have an effect that randomly discards a card in your hand. If it's a different card, they special summon themselves. They also have effects that activate when they're discarded, whether it's by their own effect or by the effect of another card. Let's start at the top by level. Danger Thunderbird. It is a winged beast and is of course dark like all of the others. 2800 attack, 2400 defense. Its effect when it's discarded is that it destroys a set card. Not amazing. It is sort of the counterpart to Danger Bigfoot, which destroys face-up cards. The main use, hypothetically, for Danger Thunderbird would be hitting back row. The issue is that a lot of the trap cards that Burning Abyss is afraid of are things like Gozen Match and Altergeist Protocol, which will be face up, which means that Danger Thunderbird doesn't actually deal with them. I might have considered it as a side deck card against Sky Strikers if it destroyed, say, 2 set cards, because then it would be really good at clearing out a bunch of Sky Striker multi-rolled set spells. As it is, though, it feels like Twin Twisters is just a more effective card. It's more reliable because, obviously, for Thunderbird, you have to actually discard it. Twin Twisters is a quick play spell card that can be activated at any time. It's still ±0 in card advantage like Thunderbird. It also has the ability to allow you to choose what card you're discarding out of your hand. I just don't really see any place for Thunderbird. It's just not good enough. It would be really nice if it could replace Twin Twisters, because then you could put it in without having to take Sekka's Light out. It's just not that card. It also has less attack points than Danger Bigfoot, which means it's not even that great as a beat stick. And of course, its level isn't very useful. If it's not level 3, we don't really care about it. Going down to the level 7, Beast Warrior Danger Dogman. So this has 2400 attack, so still less useful as a beat stick than Danger Bigfoot. So we're pretty much relying on its effect here, and it's pretty underwhelming also. When it's discarded, all of your opponent's monsters lose 1000 attack. I forget if that's for the turn or if it's permanent. Regardless, attack point manipulation in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is usually not very good, especially when you're going -1 to do it in this way. And even then, that's if you discard it. So if it just special summons itself, then you just have this random level 7, when you could be running cards like Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, or Orbital Hydralander that can reliably summon themselves and are more effective at dispatching large monsters while having significant board presence. So Danger Dogman, I think, is pretty obsolete on release, and unfortunately probably doesn't even have any use in the pure build of Danger. So that's going to be a hard pass for me. Going on to the level 4, Mothman, which is, of course, an insect. 1800 attack, 400 defense, doesn't really matter. This is the first one that I think is really worth considering playing. When it's discarded, its effect allows you, and your opponent, mind you, to draw a card and then discard a card. So it's sort of like Dark World Dealings in a danger discard effect. I think this is really interesting because it allows you to choose cards to discard. I think one of the biggest issues with Danger is that it's super unreliable getting the effect that you want. A lot of the time, even if you want the effect, they just end up special summoning themselves. So by using Mothman's effect, you can say, discard your Danger Bigfoot and actually get its destruction effect. It can also get cards like Destiny Hero Malicious and Fairy Tale Snow from your hand into the graveyard. It's unfortunately somewhat idealistic. I think a lot of these situations where it's good don't really end up coming up as much as you would hope for, and a lot of the time it's just dead in your hand, not really doing much of anything. And while it solves the issue of letting you discard specific cards, it doesn't solve that problem for itself, which is the greatest undoing of this card in the Burning Abyss build, is that you still have to get the Mothman discarded before you can get other things discarded, which really defeats the purpose of the card in a lot of situations. So that's just kind of what it is it's just sort of this flawed, okay card. I think it's a lot better if you run a lot of danger monsters. I think that reduces that problem with it, is then you have more ways and opportunities of discarding the Mothman. It works really well in conjunction with other cards. I think it's also iffy because it lets your opponent do it, which means that it allows them to fix their hand, which is usually not that great. So I'm probably not going to ever run more than one in a Danger Burning Abyss build. You really don't want to see multiples, even if you're running a lot of danger monsters. I'm sure the pure build will run 2 or 3, but in Burning Abyss, it's just meh. So the 3 we've talked about are already not really looking very good. Fortunately, there is one somewhat redeeming card, and that is the last one we're going to talk about, which is Danger Tsuchinoko. I think I got that right. Tsuchinoko. It is a level 3 reptile. Type doesn't matter, but the level is extremely important. This is the all-important level 3, which means that it can be overlaid with to make Dante. So what it does is add significant reliability to the Danger engine, because when it is discarded, it special summons itself. So that means no matter what card you discard with its effect, you are getting that level 3 monster on the field. It also helps out with Danger Jackalope, because when it gets discarded, it special summons a danger monster from the deck, other than itself. So that means that you can special summon Tsuchinoko now, as opposed to in the past when you would have to special summon a level 7 or level 8, which would often result simply in an unworkable board state instead of actually advancing it by putting a level 3 on the field like you would have hoped. Unfortunately, kind of like with Mothman, it's a little idealistic. I feel like there are cards that are basically just as good as Tsuchinoko, like Gallus, and Tsuchinoko has the additional issue, as do all danger cards, that you're going to discard a lot of stuff that you don't want to discard. Danger as an archetype really pushes you to go second, because you want to get rid of cards like hand traps and kaijus before you start discarding with the card effects, because you could just activate Tsuchinoko effect and ditch an Ash Blossom to summon it. Not optimal whatsoever. There are a lot of other cards you could have run instead. So I'm still not loving it, and that makes me pretty pessimistic about the future of Danger Burning Abyss as a deck. I do think it's still decent. I think you could go to a regional and top with Danger Burning Abyss. I just think it has a lot of issues that make it worse than alternative builds like the Warrior build or a more pure Beast build with Rescue Cat and Gallus not running any dangers like Jackalope. So I'm just not really a big fan so far. I really, really hope that we get a monster, maybe a larger monster, kind of like Bigfoot, with a spicier effect that really makes us want to play it. Just something with a lot of pull that makes sort of jumping through all these hoops worth it. So there are some decent cards, like Jackalope and Tsuchinoko are okay. I just really want a larger incentive to run them, and I don't think we have that incentive yet. They all do nothing in the graveyard if they're milled with Dante. They don't do anything on the field other than Bigfoot's an okay beat stick, which is still inferior to Blackluster Soldier and Orbital Hydrolander. there just isn't enough meat here, I think, to really get a solid deck for like a YCS or to have any consistent regional success. Especially with a lot of meta shifts that are probably coming, some new cards that are not very friendly to Burning Abyss. I think we could see it go one of two ways. I think the meta could kind of persist as it is and Burning Abyss will continue to be successful, or it could take a hard swing towards a lot of trap heavy decks with cards like Dimensional Barrier, and Burning Abyss could be a lot more fragile, in which case Danger does not really solve that problem. So we'll just see how it goes. Not really impressed with the Danger cards. I'd honestly just probably pass on them until we get something more appealing, hopefully in the third or fourth wave of support. And until my next video, I'll see you guys later. That's all I have to talk about. I will have probably a couple more Burning Abyss videos coming out within the next couple weeks. I should also have the next episode of my guide to competitive deck building. I've been meaning to do that for a while. I'm just finally going to do it. So like I said I was going to do, I will see you guys later. Bye.